Hello and welcome to this fall's first edition of The Source. I'm Henry Morillo. Coming up, why don't food trucks accept G-World cards? We'll tell you what's going on at Square 75 and hear some great entertainment at a special Latino cultural event. So keep watching. It's almost impossible to navigate the streets of GW without running into construction, or blocked off streets, or dump truck after dump truck. It seems every block has something being built on it. Jeffrey Dugas and Amanda Galanek explain what's in store for the area known as Square 75.
Construction affects anyone who sets foot on GW's campus.
The 7 Foggy Bottom campus plan includes 16 development sites, and they're sprinkled throughout the campus.
And just as one project ends, another project begins. Square 75 aims to transform the 2,000 block of Pennsylvania Avenue into space for retail, dining, and low-cost housing. These projects are costly in terms of time and resources, and often mean the loss of favorite campus locales. Administrators insist the Square 75 disruption will be well worth it.
The thought is to turn it into a high-rise office building, to have a partner, a commercial partner, manage the building. They pay us rent every year, which goes directly into building things like Science and Engineering Hall and the new School of Public Health Services, the GW Museum.
The new Square 54 development, which opened last fall, includes convenient yet high-end dining and housing options.
So last year it came in and everyone ate here and lost all their money to Whole Foods.
We've got, Whole Foods and Roti and Sweet Green that all have, fast casual options that are probably around $10, which I guess that's reasonable, but I don't think that it's necessarily competitively priced to what other college students have access to at their universities.
With low-cost food options few and far between, students flock to establishments such as Froggy Bottom Pub, which is currently set for demolition to make way for the Square 75 project.
We've lost so many staples, and to lose, even now starting to lose the privately owned staples, I think would be a major deterrent.
In addition to losing affordable dining options, as well as campus staples, the project would destroy the last historic preservation townhouses on Pennsylvania Avenue.
There are few places where I can go and see, a half a dozen or a dozen GW students and know them by name and dine in the same kind of place. These places may be dives, but they're kind of our dives.
Whatever the benefits, students will mourn the loss of what are some of the only truly collegial establishments on campus. For The Source, this is Amanda Galanek and Jeff Dugas reporting.
Also adding to street congestion are the armadas of food trucks that crowd onto H Street each morning. Sure, the smells are wonderful and the price is pretty good. Or are they? Elizabeth Henriksen and Evan Kozlov check it out.
Some say the economy bites, but the food truck industry is booming. And with food like this, it's no surprise.
I always get the carnivore barbecue, even though it's 8 million calories, I feel, but it's pretty delicious.
They're greasy, they're saucy, they're meaty, and they're famous.
They got a lot of flair to them, and it's something that I haven't seen in a lot of other cities.
And they're popping up in DC in large numbers. This is H Street on a Monday. Center of GW campus, and students are hungry. Food trucks like Tasty Kebab are some of the students' favorites.
A lot of students, the word of mouth, we'll get a lot of people coming up saying, I heard you guys were great.
Some students, though, aren't as ready to part with their precious dollars.
They are, on a college budget, they're not the best.
I do eat the food trucks, but I would certainly eat there more if they took G-World.
I would definitely eat there probably once a week if I could use the G-World.
Despite G-World wishes, these students might have to continue hitting the ATM. At this time, no trucks have been given access to G-World. Some truckers aren't too concerned, though.
It won't make a difference, really. The people that pay cash, they gotta pay by G-World.
According to Tasty Kebab, about 5 students a day ask to use G-World, which compared to their large profits is relatively small. One thing is clear, though. G-World or not, these trucks are bringing in the dough, cashing in the cheese, and raking in the green.
It's just another great option to get a quick bite.
In Washington, Evan Kozlov, Source News.
And there's even more food to be had along the avenue, where high-end restaurants go head-to-head with Whole Foods and hordes of hungry students and workers. Stephanie Popowski and Ashley Reese take us there for the source.
Business is booming at Foggy Bottom's The Avenue, and life for Foggy Bottom workers and residents is significantly better. Whole Foods, Roti, Sweetgreen, and Circa are just a few restaurants that make neighborhood dining healthier and more convenient.
I'm a physician at GW. It's really important that I be able to go get lunch really quickly, and so now that I have Devon and Blakely's right there, or Roti, those are my two favorites.
Busy students can also quickly grab a bite to eat and run to class, or sit and catch up with friends at the several outdoor seating areas within the complex. Having Whole Foods Market a short distance from campus is the greatest benefit to the community.
Honestly, I would be schlepping all the way to P Street every week, like going food shopping there. So I think that it's really great that it's on campus. Whether it's for a meal or food shopping, it's really provided a healthy alternative.
Not only is the avenue filling Foggy Bottom residents' stomachs, it also helped create an urban town center, bringing the neighborhood together.
We're really a neighborhood spot, a place to come and enjoy yourself, have a nice meal, spend some time with the people you care about.
With so much success after 1 year, the Avenue complex is not just convenient, but the Washington Business Journal says it's the deal of the year. This is Stephanie Popowski and Ashley Reese with The Source.
Coming up, the election is just a month off. Have you registered to vote yet?
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, a 56 convertible. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
It's a common problem on campus. You've written something on your laptop computer and you need to print it out so that you can hand it in to your professor. Well, Gelman Library is starting up a new program where it's incredibly easy to print from anywhere at any time. I looked into it with my partner, Victoria Lee.
Say goodbye to the days of running around campus searching for a way to print out your latest assignment. Say hello to Colonial Printing, a new system that allows students to print in Gelman Library from their laptops and mobile devices in addition to the library computer lab.
Yeah, I just use it occasionally when I'm walking to and from classes and I don't have time to go back to my own printer, so it's convenient and simple.
The system is called WEPA, or Wireless Everywhere Print Anywhere. Students can install an application on their laptops or mobile devices, such as smartphones and tablets, and use their NetID to send documents to the kiosk in Gelman.
You can send your print job from your dorm room and then get it on the way to class, and I think that provides a convenience. You can even send it from, if you're visiting your family over the weekend and you're done your paper and you just want to send it, it'll stay in the system.
When functioning properly, the system allows students to print to one of 7 new kiosks installed in Gelman Library. There, they can pay for the print job using their G-Worlds or credit and debit cards. Color copies cost 85 cents per page, and black and white copies cost 7 cents per page.
It's a lot more convenient. You print from home and then come here and just print out from the station instead of having to use a desktop. And I know it gets pretty hard to use desktops during the day sometimes because they're so busy. So the whole printing system's a lot easier. I think most people really do like it.
Representatives from Academic Technology say that if the system proves effective, they will install more kiosks and buildings across campus. Reporting for The Source, this has been Victoria Lee and Henry Morillo.
For many students, remote printing isn't as much of a challenge as is remote living. I'm talking about living on the Mount Vernon campus, of course, and the need to get to the main campus on time, and needing to rely on the sometimes unreliable Vern Express. Musaddiq Vidar and Amanda Dambra explain.
It's only 3 miles between Mount Vernon campus and Foggy Bottom, but sometimes traffic makes getting there on time a frustrating ordeal.
It's nice to have somewhere quiet to go back to, but it's a pain to take books.
Yeah, because you never know like if it's going to be slow or what the traffic will be like, so you have to give yourself a lot of time.
The Vern Express does have a set schedule, picking up students on the Mount Vernon campus every 5 minutes during peak hours of the day. However, unpredictable traffic on the busy DC area highways makes it difficult to predict when the bus will arrive in Foggy Bottom.
Freshman year, there were some times where I had like 8 a.m. so you'd stuck like in the morning traffic. I'd be in the bus for like at least 45.
Oh no, so it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Students say professors do not excuse tardiness just because they live on the Vern. However, the Vern Express does provide live updates on Twitter, which students report is helpful in getting them to Foggy Bottom on time.
They don't care. Really. If you're late, you're late. And I mean, just because you live on the Vern, it's not an excuse to be late necessarily, because they tell you to plan ahead.
Getting to class on time gives any freshman a headache, but those on the Vern face an extra hurdle every morning.
Probably not, because it comes frequently.
Yeah, and there's lots of traffic, and like you really just don't know. And sometimes they take you different ways to try and avoid it, but
I think it just depends on the time of day.
Are you getting used to it?
Yeah. It's just kind of part of the routine now.
Even though it may be unreliable, the Vern Express is doing what it can to get students where they need to be, when they need to be there. Reporting for The Source, this is Musadeep Yadar and Amanda Diambra.
If you haven't taken the steps to register for the upcoming presidential election, you better get moving. Student voters could be key this year, as Danielle Sloan and Jennifer Turker explain.
Registering students to vote is a key step this election year. So this week, the George Washington University's Program Board held the 50 Days to Election Day campaign in the Marvin Center.
I think voting is really important to students on this campus since we're one of the most politically active schools here in the heart of the country.
Students received flyers with information, signed up for absentee ballots, and shared their political views with their peers. The board's goal is to teach kids at GW about the impact they can have on history come November.
I think that voting is very important just because it's your job as an American citizen, and I think that you can't complain about what's going on in this country if you haven't voted.
The program board is committed to maintain GW's status as the most politically active campus in the country. By partnering with other student programs, GW students can show that they really do care about this election.
So by putting on these student programming and partnering with the university to bring big name speakers and to work with other student organizations, we can show that we do really care about this election, we care about this country, and we're happy to be able to integrate ourselves into the election process.
It's clear that young voters are absolutely crucial to this election. Research shows that if every student across the country voted, they alone could determine the outcome of this election. So, have you registered to vote? For GW TV, this is Danielle Sloan and Jennifer Turker reporting.
GW students aren't just passionate about politics, they're compassionate as well, freely giving their time and money to good causes. Zach Abay and Brian Albin filed this report on how campus Greeks are pitching in.
It looked like members of GW Greek Life gathered at U Yard Sunday to simply play around, but they had more than just fun and games on their minds. They came together to culminate a week of charity work and shared laughs along the way. Sunday's relay race concluded the Sigma Phi Epsilon fraternity's Sweetheart Week, which called upon GW sororities to raise money for the Youth AIDS organization. So how do skits, pageants, and relay races raise money for charity?
Well, for the most part, it's more about rallying the troops, getting girls excited, because when you get them excited, they want to donate, they want to give, and honestly, it's all about the giving.
Some donations arrived in smaller quantities, but the fraternity set its sights high for the week.
Well, we want to push $12,000. I mean, it's a monetary goal, it's a solid goal. Any money raised is obviously a good cause for youth AIDS.
Despite 13 of 42 organizations not reporting their fundraising, GW Greek Life raised nearly $300,000 in 2011.
Students come to DC because they want to do good in the world, and our organizations help them connect to community service and philanthropic opportunities while they're here.
Still, Witkowicki believes that the Greek community can do more than just raise money for charity.
I would love to see a greater commitment to service as opposed to just philanthropy. It's great that we raise money for these causes, but let's go out and learn a little bit more about the cause that we're raising money for.
Nonetheless, as the GW Greek Life fundraising season kicked off last week, a little fun in the sun was one way to celebrate.
it really is unlike any other campus. The numbers that we put up every year, it's amazing.
The next Greek Life Philanthropy event will be the Kappa Kappa Gamma Sororities Kickball Tournament benefiting children's literacy on October 13th. This is Brian Albin reporting for The Source.
Finally, let's enjoy some talented music and dance at a recent event called Café con Leche. Students gathered to celebrate the many cultures that come together here at GW. Listen and enjoy.
Igniting his spirit with the fire that made our love glow when we were 20, 40, and 80 years old.
This year's Café con Leche event featured spoken word, singing, dancing, and even some beatboxing. The event is one of many that the Multicultural Student Services Center and several other Latino organizations put together on campus during Latino Heritage Month.
People always definitely look forward to it because it is something different. It's something where you can really just come out and express yourself and perform something that you wouldn't really be able to perform any other day.
The range of different performances brought the audience to both laughter and tears.
It was like real. It was real. I liked it a lot.
I almost cried.
The whole event was just well done overall.
Yeah.
The open mic format of the event especially lent itself to this year's theme, Sin Fronteras, which aims to break the barriers between different cultural groups.
So we call life. Our ACL should never tear.
I think people are really welcoming, and I think it was like a sense of community that people would feel comfortable in to come back.
It is well, it is well.
I think music is universal, and it doesn't really have to be just for one culture, but a celebration of cultures as part of one month.
Students use their talents to showcase their pride in all cultures at Café con Leche.
And that wraps up our first source. We'll be back in another month to share more events going on in our neighborhood. I hope you'll join us. Be sure to vote.